So I'm curious to see what our basil, if we got basil seed in here. So there's a stem there. So I'm gonna peel the stem. Let's peel all the little flower heads off the stem. And we're looking for little tiny black seeds. So I'm gonna crush it all up. Basil has an incredible odor. Super fragrant. So now I'm kind of threshing that seed head with my fingers. And then, now that I've got most of it crushed, we gotta separate the seeds from the chaff. So the chaff is basically every part of the plant that's not the seed. So that's the stem, the leaves, the flower bits. And there's two main methods of seed cleaning that we're gonna do here today. One is winnowing. So that's with the wind. So we pour off, and you see the wind blowing away some of the chaff there out of the bucket. So that's one pass of winnowing. And the other technique we're gonna do is we're gonna do some screens. So we're gonna see if the seeds will fall through the screen, leaving behind the large bits of chaff. And it looks like that worked really well. So now we're getting down to the seeds here. So I got a bit of chaff there. I'm just gonna add it into our garden. And then we'll do one more pass of winnowing to see if we can get rid of all that chaff. And one more pass, it's a good breeze. All right, now we're getting almost down to all the seed. So we see those little black seeds there. So that's basil seed. So what else do we have here? We got our sunflowers. So these are the dried flowers. The seeds are those black. So I'm gonna crack it open. So there's actually three main parts to the seed. One is the hard outer coat. Right. You know sunflower seeds, if you crack them open, then you get that little white seed on the inside?
Yes.
So that's where the nutrients are, that's where the DNA, the code is, that teaches the seed how to grow. Okay. And then there's a hard outer shell, which protects the seed from the elements and from birds and insects. So then once we're done cleaning the seed, then the final step is putting them into envelopes, labeling them. So let me show you just one thing over here. So remember I was telling you about the wet fruits?
Fruits, yes.
So this one here is been sitting out for a couple days. This was ground cherries. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pour the water off the top. Let's see here. And you see the seeds there at the bottom?
Yes.
And then we'll try a bit more water here. And then we can clean it up. So I can do a couple passes with that, and that'll really clean up the seed. And all the goop will float off. So now we got the seed there, we can just let it dry.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's ground cherry seeds. That's seed from wet fruit. So we can actually do the same thing with, I'm gonna get some water. Let me know if you get a good shot there. So I'm gonna just squish the fruit in the water and we'll see if the seeds fall out. purple. So sometimes seeds like tomatoes, they'll have a bit of goop on the seed. And the goop will come off, we'll let it ferment in the water for a day or two.
Yeah.
So we can actually, what we'll do is we'll pour it off. So we'll pour off that liquid. And we'll add some more in there. It's almost blue now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's crazy. That's interesting.
Maybe we could use some of this for a natural dye
Maybe, yeah.
for our signs. So everything light floats. So you can see the seeds there. They're covered in a bit of a coat. So I think what we'll end up doing is leaving this out for a couple days. And we'll fill it with water and we'll let it ferment. And then that should separate out the goop from the seed. And the goop will float and the seeds will sink. So I have an envelope here. We have our Farm Lab branding for our school-grown science education that we do with our K-12 schools in the area, and we do with a lot of Lakehead programs as well. So this is actually our classroom, our garden classroom for learning about all different things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write basil, and I'm going to put the year, 2024, and I'm going to put Lakehead Farm Lab. And I'll even say in small print, Italian large leaf, because that's the type of basil.
Okay.
Lots of different types of basil. And where did I put the basil seed? And now we're just gonna give a little blow, clean it off a little further. And there we go. We got our basil seed.
Basil seed.
Yeah. I'm just gonna dab a little water. I'm gonna seal it up. And there you have it. Now these seeds will go into our Lakehead seed library, and people in our community can borrow them, students can borrow them. And then they can come up to the farm lab, learn how to grow and save the seed. We'll be starting the seeds in the greenhouse in the late winter and early spring, and then we'll be transplanting them out into the field to continue the cycle all over again.